3 water energy prize off the rip here from Jake is not great. I'm pretty sure Jake only plays like 7 or 8 water energy. Now, Jake did not make day 2, so I'm not sure what Jake's list looks like, but we can make some general assumptions. I do have Pablo's list to look at, though. And I do have to say, I think this matchup is going to be probably favored for Pablo. It does have 4 escape rope, so that'll make the SQ, if Jake plays it, a little bit weird. Also, the double Raikou sounds really, really good into this matchup for Pablo. Yeah, the double Raikou sounds really, really good in this matchup for Pablo. Quick ball off the rip here, getting rid of the Sableye. Probably going to look for Greninja or Comfey. Here's some notes taking. Love to see it. Checking prize cards. So quick ball off the rip here for Pablo. Going to be a Comfey or a Greninja almost for sure. It doesn't need to stress too much about trying to do anything on this first turn. You do want to try and build up a decent loss zone if you can as Pablo, because you want to threaten Raikou like turn 2 and make Jake scramble to try and get the Manaphy out alongside everything else Jake wants to set up. Or, you know, be able to pull off an attack with the Raikou, or if they whiff it, then be able to pull off the attack with the Raikou. Like if Jake can't get the Manaphy out, then you kind of just win. So Comfey grab. One final check. Shuffle up. And then we'll see some flower selecting coming up soon. There's the Comfey. Double Colress in hand, so a pretty good start here from Pablo. Saves the escape rope. This is actually like something that's a little bit matchup dependent sometimes, but I usually like to see the escape rope be played first, because that opens up the possibility to put the energy somewhere. But I guess in this hand for Pablo, it's probably correct to do attach retreat first. Actually, I don't know how I feel about that, because if you escape rope first and you get Battle VIP pass, then that leads to Greninja. Greninja discards the energy, draws 2. I almost still feel like I like the escape rope first here from Pablo. I actually don't like the retreat first, because the energy attachment is so much more flexible than the switch card. The switch card, like, does one thing. It moves your active Pokemon to the bench Pokemon, but the energy can be attached or treated. It can be discarded with Greninja. It can be attached somewhere. So I actually think I would like to have seen the escape rope first here from Pablo and hold the energy, because that leaves up more options. You're hyper worried about Empoleon and SQ? That's fair. That's fair. Okay, yeah. So if you have the escape rope that plays around Empoleon, SQ, I don't think you need to worry about SQ that much when you play 4 escape rope, and this is your first one, but Empoleon is fair. So I guess that is fair, actually, to hold the escape rope to play around Empoleon. All right, Comfey or Rod. But then, okay, so you say that, but then you go ahead and play the escape rope. But once again, though, you have, like, in your hand there, you still have Colress, and you play 4 escape rope. So I still think I lean towards liking the escape rope first. And if that is the reason to hold on to the escape rope, then you should still hold the escape rope here as well, I feel like. But once again, you have the Colress, so I don't hate the idea of being more aggressive with your escape rope here. Rayquaza, or what was the option there? Rayquaza or Grass. Takes the Rayquaza. Seems fine. I could see an argument for taking the Grass. My experience in this matchup is pretty limited, though, because the Raikou seem like they're pretty good, and you might not even need Rayquaza in this matchup, to be honest. But yeah, with double Colress in hand, I think you're pretty safe no matter what, to be honest, with playing 4 escape rope in the list. But I to be honest, because of Empoleon, I kind of like the idea of holding this escape rope specifically, because you want to make sure you have one for the next turn in case they have Empoleon. I have no clue if Jake does play the Empoleon. It looks like Jake has the SQ, not the Empoleon, though. I think I saw the SQ in the front. Yeah, so there's the SQ in the deck here for Jake, which means there's going to be the Wash Energy. So the way to tackle this is Jake's going to try and get down SQ with Wash Energy at some point on the bench, and then try and get down to like a lone SQ board state. But it looks like Jake's start here sucks. Yep, Jake went attached to Palkia Pass. That is not going to get to the lone SQ. Whoa, that is all right, that's a good Colress from Pablo. Really easy there. Double Battle VIP pass to the discard pile. And then also an escape rope and a scoop up net with the Raikou in hand. So this is already starting out to be a great draw here from Pablo. Scoop up net or Colress. I like the scoop up net grab here. Yeah, I like that. Just dig deeper. You could actually win the game this turn as Pablo. If you get Mirage Gate, there's the Mirage Gate. We're getting up to 6 here. If you get Mirage Gate, and then you also get one of the energy you need from Pablo. Hopefully Pablo checked their energy and knows that this metal energy is safe to be lost. I didn't really overly look at the prize cards for this match. Another Comfey down. Here comes another scoop up net. Save the escape rope for now. And then Pablo just needs to hit. Well, that's not actually true. Depends what's prized. Just goes into the cram, though. Doesn't even go for the game here. Could have got game here. But I guess if you go for game here as Pablo, you do risk... If you do go for game here as Pablo, you do risk losing your escape rope. But is that really a fear? I don't even know if that's a fear, to be honest. I think I would like to have seen Pablo go for game here. Pablo could have gone for game here. If you scoop up net into the other Comfey, and then Comfey gets... Wait, how much HP does Articuno have? It's 110, right? Yeah. The other Comfey gets one of the energy. You win. If you whiff, you can still just go like Mirage Gate to Raikou, Mirage Gate to Comfey, retreat, cram, KO. I don't know. I don't hate going for game here. I can understand the idea of like playing it a little bit slower too, though. You're going to be so far ahead off this rip anyways, you're probably in a fine spot. All right, Palkia send up from Jake. Does top deck the Irida, so isn't quite dead in the water yet. And I'm actually curious to see what how Jake plays this here. Could go for the keep calling. Could also just go for the knockout on the active. If you go for the knockout on the active, though, as Jake, you're probably getting returned one hit KO'd by the Rayquaza. Or I guess it's possible. Actually, it's not for sure. It's just possible, I guess. Irida here. Eyeing up Sobble and Level Ball. And then the rest of the hand has Raihan, Palkia V-Star. So maybe as Jake here, you just go for double Sobble. And then you just start swinging with Palkia. Force Pablo to KO your Palkia. And then you look to go into like a lone, what's it called, after that. On this turn, though, from Pablo, we could actually see KO double Sobble, which I actually think sounds pretty good here. We see the escape rope in the hand here for Pablo. So we could see Pablo go KO double Sobble. There's a couple ways Pablo could handle this. Has the escape rope, so could go for the double Sobble KO. Goon versus Rayquaza, I think, in the hand currently. Which is the Goon, keeps the Ray. I think that might be a Ray. I actually can't tell what that is. It looks like a Ray. It has a metal in hand. So yeah, Pablo could KO double Sobbles here, which seems pretty good. Goes for the Raihan. Could still happen. Energy to the Raikou. Could also KO, could also punch the Palkia. And if you punch the Palkia and don't KO it, you never can lose to Lone SQ, because the Palkia can't leave play for Jake. Actually, that's not true. Jake could thwart in the Palkia out of play. Ooh, wait, no, you can't do that. You can only do it on basic Pokemon. I was coming up with a play in my head that just can't happen. You can't do that. Thorn only works on basic Pokemon. So from here from Pablo, if you want to be super safe to play around SQ, I guess you could just go punch Palkia, set up damage on, or KO one of the Sobbles. And I think that's probably fine here. You can also go for double Sobble KO, and I don't think that's terrible either. It looks like Pablo's eyeing up the air balloon. So we're definitely not going to see the escape rope happen. But yeah, I think that's probably fine here from Pablo. Just go for the punch on the active, KO one Sobble, and then that leaves it so that the SQ can't ever... there can never be a lone SQ board state, which I do like. Or maybe chaining Raihans here from Pablo, actually. Yeah, it takes a Raihan, actually, instead. Mirage Gate comes out. Can also hard retreat the active here still, but might also go for the escape rope play. Uh-oh. No, this is fine. Lightning Grass, and then attaches the metal out of hand. Yeah, hasn't attached return yet. Yeah, I think either play here from Pablo is pretty good. There's the escape rope play, so no dealings to happen next turn. I assume Pablo... Yeah, this makes no sense for Pablo to punch the Palkia here, so... and then has the Rayquaza getting set up on the bench as well. So can just kind of win the game by going KO Palkia next turn if Jake doesn't have another attacker. And Jake has a Raihan, but can't play it because there's no water energy in the discard pile. Oh, no, is there one? There might be one. I don't think there is one. All right, Jake concedes and goes to game 2. Was Jake even knocking out the active there? I don't even know if Jake was knocking out the active there. So yeah, goes for the double Sobble KO. Like I said, KOing, hitting the active Palkia plus punch a Sobble would have been fine as well. You know Jake can never play around the lone SQ play can never happen. But I don't know if you have to play that aggressively around the SQ play, to be honest. I think it's probably fine there as Pablo to be like, all right, if I take out both your Sobbles, how do you ever get to a lone SQ board state anyways? You still have the Palkia in play. The Palkia is still in play at that point as well. And the build up to SQ from there would be pretty tough. Okay. So Pablo still has no idea what kind of answers Jake has to Lost Box. Could have Empoleons, could have SQ. Pablo doesn't know yet. Based on how that first game went from Jake, I think it'd maybe be pretty hard to draw a conclusion on that. You appreciate the 16-month resub there, Harrison. So yeah, Pablo still wants to probably try and play in fear of both cards. All right, from Jake here, nothing too ridiculously important prize, and it looks like Jake did choose to go first. Has a heavy ball, gonna be another Sobble. So this hand looks way better for Jake. No turn one attachment isn't gonna be great. Once again, a cram start for Pablo, which isn't bad. It's actually like the second best starter for the most part. I guess maybe the second best starter might be Radiant Greninja, to be honest. Cram might be the third best starter, because then it gets your Greninja in play already. Yeah, your best starter is Comfey. Second best starter might be Radiant Greninja, and then third best starter is Cram. So Cram's still not a bad thing to open up with, to be honest. Yep, Sobble off the prize cards from the heavy ball. Has a quick ball to get rid of the Drapion. Has a Greninja in the hand. Actually, that might be a Manaphy. That might not be Greninja. I think it's Manaphy in Jake's hand, actually. It is eyeing up a Palkia, but has no energy attachment, unfortunately, for Jake. So it's going to go with the Palkia. And once again, it's going to be trying to get down to an SQ board state at some point. It's actually possible. I don't have access to Jake's list. It's possible Jake doesn't actually play away. So pretty awkward start here from Pablo. Quick ball away Raikou. And the question in these kind of hands is always, well, one thing I actually would like to have seen from Pablo, actually, is there is the Oranguru in the hand. So there's actually multiple basic Pokemon that Pablo wants here. I think Pablo should have started with Primate Wisdom. Because when you go to use Quick Ball, you take a basic Pokemon out of your deck. And if you take a basic Pokemon out of your deck, you have less chance of hitting a basic Pokemon if you use Primate Wisdom. Am I uploading this to YouTube? Yeah, I will. So I think Pablo should have started with Primate Wisdom here. Because you don't really need... Because you want to hit... usually in situations you're like your Desperation Primate Wisdom is like, oh, I hope I get the Colress off of this. But in this situation with Pablo, where you have so little Pokemon search, you want to hit a Comfey or a Greninja in this situation. So I think Pablo should have started with Primate Wisdom here for sure. And now the question at this point for Pablo is, do I get Greninja or do I get Comfey? Once you've committed to the Quick Ball like this from Pablo, I do like the Greninja grab. You could go for the Comfey grab, but then you're hoping that one of those two cards is enough to keep you going. Whereas with the Greninja, maybe both cards are decent, and then like the combination of those two cards is what keeps you going. So in these kind of situations where you're committed to only finding like one Pokemon like this from Pablo, I do like the Greninja grab over the Comfey. But yeah, like I said, I think there's a Guru in Pablo's hand here. So I think Pablo should have gone with a Primate Wisdom first. We'll see, though. Going through the prize cards pretty thoroughly here. Taking the notes. Love to see it. I appreciate the 35-month resub there, Fred. Yo, what's up, Fred? There's the concealed cards. Now, once you've committed to this line from Pablo, I do like... Yeah, there's the Guru. So the Guru should have happened before the Quick Ball, because... if we got Greninja or Comfey off the Primate Wisdom, we wouldn't be mad, right? Because then we could Quick Ball for a second Comfey or the Greninja, whatever it might be. So we would like to have Primate Wisdom first, then Quick Ball. The Guru probably doesn't see what we want, but it might. And it might see a Colress as well, which is even better, right? Then we Quick Ball for the Greninja if it doesn't get a basic, and then we kind of go from there. Now here comes the Primate Wisdom, and we're really hoping to see a Colress. Ideally, that's a Raihan. So pretty slow start here from... Pablo. Doesn't need to bench the Manaphy. Did have it in hand. But yeah, doesn't need to bench it because there's really no threat of Greninja this turn from Jake. Like, Jake could use Greninja, but kind of who cares if Jake uses Greninja here? Like, you can do 90 to two Pokemon that have over 90 HP. So, yeah, not going to do a whole ton for you. Jake doesn't have a great hand here. And is debating going with Irida just for Greninja plus Bucket. And then hoping to draw some good stuff off that. There's no real great play here, I don't think, from Jake. The SQ's in the deck, once again, wasn't prized. Now thinking about Drizzile. Maybe you do... that's actually tough. I don't actually know what you get here as Jake. You could guarantee to start to develop an Inteleon by going Drizzile, Bucket, and then Drizzile for Quick Ball. That way you guaranteed to have a Drizzile developed. I wouldn't hate to see that. And now we might just see a Quick Ball away the Choice Belt here from Jake. Grab themselves the Greninja, and you still go with the Greninja, but now you guaranteed have a Drizzile develop, but might actually just go for Shade Dealings and Inteleon. So I might play this a little bit slower and really not get too much done this turn. Could keep calling, but still definitely needs to get something off this. So yeah, could get the Evolution Incense and then keep calling, I guess, after that. This feels really slow here from Jake, but the Greninja play, I don't think was going to lead to too much more for you anyways. But still could have done this and gotten the Greninja off. But this guarantees the... this does guarantee the what's it called in the next turn. 2 Lightning Energy there from Pablo. So a lot of energy here for Pablo. Primate Wisdom, Lightning Energy into Lightning Energy. So not a whole ton happening. But yeah, this does guarantee the access to the Inteleon the next turn for Jake. So I think I like this play probably a little bit more than the Greninja play. Although setting up Greninja, getting energy in the discard pile, that is also something you want to do. So I guess it's kind of a close call, to be honest. Attach and pass. Over to Jake. Jake really wants to do something this turn. You don't want to let Pablo sit here for forever doing absolutely nothing while you also do absolutely nothing. So Jake really wants to make something happen this turn. This is the turn to make something happen here as Jake. Here we go. There's Inteleon, Net, and Irida. We should probably see... The thing with this situation, though, I guess that doesn't really matter too much. Being able to Palkia to your SQ doesn't make a big deal. It isn't a big deal, I don't think. Here's the V-Star for the... Or here's the Irida for the Palkia V-Star. The Quick Ball. I'm going to probably grab the Ninja this time. Net on the Inteleon. Shady Dealings. Maybe not. Shady Dondines. Shady Dealings. We're back at it. What are we grabbing? Raihan was the grab. There's a retreat. So we're swinging this turn as Jake. Now there is a Raihan in the hand here for Pablo, but that's not going to do a whole ton for the current board state for Pablo, to be honest. Yeah, Raihan's not going to be a big game changer here, I don't think. So this is actually like, this is still not that much going on here for Jake. Yeah, this is still pretty lackluster. And there's a swing. Doesn't bench anything else either, so keeping the bench pretty small here. Here we go again from Pablo. Concealed cards. There's a Comfey. Does have a Raihan. I wonder if at some point soon Pablo should just concede this game. I don't know. Like, this is a matchup I've never played before, so I don't know the comeback potential on Pablo's side. I imagine it's, like, pretty high here, probably. Yeah, imagine it's probably a pretty good shot here for Pablo to make some kind of comeback. I don't know what that is. That's a cram. Okay, so it gives us the cram. So we should see a Raihan here, I assume. There's Primate Wisdom first. Got a Battle VIP pass. That's sick. That's great. Attacking with cram here would have been pretty nice from Pablo, though. There's a Raihan to the Sableye. I'm probably going to grab another Comfey, I would imagine, because we got to set up his Lost Zone. But is eyeing up the Colress? Yeah, I definitely like Comfey over Colress here. Like, Colress is great for next turn, but we still need some more Comfeys at that point. I would definitely go with the Comfey here if I was Pablo. Yeah, it looks like Pablo's going to agree on that. I guess it's fine Lost Zoning the Cram there, to be honest, because, like, what is the chance that you actually ever attack with Cram? And you're not attacking with Cram this turn, and next turn, if you're attacking with Cram, you're probably losing. So you want to be attacking with something else to be a little bit more explosive. Goes with the Escape Rope over just the Air Balloon Retreat. Sobble send up here from Jake in response. Yeah, there's already a course for the following turn. And probably just a pass from Pablo. I actually wouldn't hate to see Comfey retreat. Setting up an energy on the Comfey. That's fine, I guess. What happened to the Manaphy? Am I tripping here? Where did the Manaphy go? Didn't Pablo have a Manaphy in the hand? Wait, what happened to Pablo's Manaphy? Am I, like, losing my mind? I'm watching on 1.25 speed. I swear Pablo had a Manaphy in the hand. When did it leave the hand? So the V-Star power is used, though, from Jake. So the Manaphy doesn't matter anymore in this matchup. Or it shouldn't. I guess that's not true. Jake does play Raihan. It was Jake. Was it Jake? I swear Pablo had a Manaphy in the hand. No, Pablo did have a Manaphy in the hand. I swear Pablo had a Manaphy in the hand. That was last game? Was it last game? I might just be tripping. All right, the dealings are in for Jake, Bucket, and Boss. Are we chasing the Sableye here as Jake? I feel like you probably want to chase. You either don't want to chase anything and just KO a Comfey, or you want to KO the Greninja? I feel like chasing the Sableye here when there's only 2 in the Lost Zone isn't worth it. I feel like KOing Comfey actually here is pretty comfortable, or chasing the Greninja. Greninja's always a good chase, to be honest. Yeah, I don't like that Sableye chase. There's so much. Pablo plays 2 Sableye. Jake doesn't know that for sure. Yeah, I don't like that Sableye chase at all there. Pablo building up 8 in the Lost Zone if you took away one of Pablo's Comfeys would be super hard. I feel like Greninja is probably the best thing to remove from play here. If you're going to remove something, I also just think Jake attacking a Comfey there is just fine, though, to be honest. There's Pablo's Manaphy. Doesn't need it anymore this game because the V-Star power has been used. That's actually not, like I said, that's not 100% true. Jake does play Raihan. So if Jake just attaches to Greninja one turn, the next turn you could Raihan and like KO 2 Comfeys or something. So, but Manaphy is probably pretty safe to remove from play here. I don't know. Maybe Pablo can get to 10 here, and I'm just kind of, maybe I'm the one who's tripping. It's maybe possible. I don't think it's going to happen, but we're up to 7. I think Pablo's going to be more so aiming for a Rayquaza KO or close to it. Goon or Colress. That'd be another Colress hitting the Lost Zone. Just goes to the Goon. Is up to 6. It does have Quick Ball to potentially get another Comfey, Escape Rope into Comfey. This is actually interesting here from Pablo. Yeah, I actually don't know what you do here as Pablo. This is awkward. You grab another Comfey. Do you... Oh, hasn't used concealed cards yet. Oh, okay. That's actually... I think we should have opened our turn with concealed cards, right? Do we have extra energy in our hand? We maybe didn't, actually. Now we have the concealed cards, though. Okay, now we have a Scoop Up Net. So now we could Quick Ball for a Comfey. Scoop Up Net, reset a Comfey. That would give us a lot more options to work with. You know, I don't think Pablo had any energy to use with the Greninja yet. Was it the Ray, though? But we don't have 7 in the Lost Zone. But I guess we could see... No, I'm pretty sure Pablo's already retreated, actually. I'm pretty sure Pablo has already retreated. He is taking the Ray, though. He had 1 Lightning. It might have been worth to hold the Lightning there. But it might have been worth to just Greninja off the rip to start, to be honest. I'm pretty sure Pablo's already retreated here, so I don't think we can retreat again. We don't have any Comfeys to use either. So, I don't know, Pablo's just kind of out of options. Pass. There, yeah, that's it. Pablo just passes. So, I don't even know if we should have played the Quick Ball there, to be honest. Because now a Marnie here from Jake would be pretty punishing. So, I don't love that choice there from Pablo, but I don't hate it. Once again, like I said about Jake's last turn, I didn't love Jake chasing down the Sableye there. I think I would like to have seen Jake just KO a Comfey. I would like that a little bit more. Or chase the Greninja. I think Greninja is a little bit of a bigger card in most situations. I think we're finally seeing the Greninja get set up here from Jake. A little bit limited on the dealings as well. Inteleon is established. And okay, did Pablo scoop and go to game 3? I think maybe Pablo scooped there and was going to game 3. Okay, yeah, that just seems super awkward to me. At first, I thought Jake conceded. Jake was like, I'm going to use Shady Dealings. I'm going to use the Irida here. And like, this sucks. I'm just going to go ahead and pack it up. So double Irida, prize from Jake. Pablo's side, nothing super important. Second Sableye could hurt if Pablo Lost Zones an initial Sableye, hoping the second Sableye is not prized. But I think Pablo might play the heavy ball. Actually, no, Pablo doesn't play the heavy ball. All right, really good start here from Pablo. Battle VIP pass off the rip. Going to see Greninja plus second Comfey probably. And a ton of options in the hand as well. I'm probably going to see Greninja plus second Comfey. Look for some aggressive turn 2 attacks. Manaphy start here is not great from Jake. The Manaphy start is not great, especially if it goes down early, because then that opens up plays from the Raikou pretty early on. Let's see, what is Pablo going to grab? Checking the prize cards. Checking the hand. And we're going with... Ninja for sure is one of them. I mean, I'm just going to assume Comfey's going to be the second one. But it's possible we go with something else. And... Okay, Greninja Comfey. As planned. Horse in the hand as well already for Pablo. Double battle VIP pass in the hand here for Jake. So Jake, even though open the Manaphy, but I don't see too much else to work with in the hand there for Jake, to be honest. I don't see too much else in the hand to work with. The double battle VIP pass. I think there is a Drizzile, but that won't be until the following turn. Here comes the dealings. Got the Guru as well to play around any potential Marnie. Even bench a Raikou and attach to a Raikou here, or could dig deeper with the Comfies. I kind of like digging deeper with the Comfies. Escape Rope versus a Grass Energy. I think you could probably give up this Grass here as Pablo to keep the Rope. Goes with that. Hasn't seen any aggressive Empoleons yet, so I think Pablo can probably make a pretty good read that Jake probably does not play Empoleon, but might have that SQ. The boss is super important for the SQ, to be honest. Potentially KO before it gets set up. Got the Guru, going with the Primate Wisdom, that Colress on top of the deck to play around any potential Marnies from Jake. Oof, there's a Battle VIP pass. That makes things a little bit awkward, because now you're like, okay, do I play this Battle VIP? I've had this happen to me a ton. Does have a Colress in hand still. I don't hate this play here from Pablo. Just going to go for a Cram here. Could go for Cram and Manaphy, actually. Actually, I kind of like that. You do want the Manaphy out at some point. You don't get to bench a Raikou then. Goes with the no Manaphy. It goes with no Manaphy. I don't hate that. The Greninja play is a little bit awkward from Jake anyways, I feel like, to kind of set up and go with, so it should be fine. This does make it, if Jake does have a Marnie here, which I don't even know if Jake plays, to be honest. If Jake did have a Marnie here, that could make things a little bit awkward for Pablo. Pablo could potentially not find a Colress. There is one more Colress back in the deck now because of the Guru, and if there's no Marnie from Jake, then there is a Colress in hand from Pablo. The really awkward hands are where you Primate Wisdom your lone Colress on top of your deck, and then you draw into a Battle VIP pass, and you're like, oh, shoot. Because you want to play the Battle VIP pass, but with no Colress in hand, is it worth, are the basic Pokemon worth losing the guaranteed Colress next turn? I've had that happen to me before, and then not draw back into the Colress, unfortunately. Our Battle VIP pass number 1 for Jake. Sobble and Greninja. Battle VIP pass number 2 for Jake. Like I said, the rest of the hand does not look that great, though. The rest of the hand looking pretty mid for Jake. Looks like Sobble's going to be a grab, and there's also a Sobble in the hand there for Jake. I'm actually curious how many net Jake plays. I think it's probably 3, but I actually don't know for sure. Grab Sobble. Sobble only goes for 1 off that one. There's a net on the Manaphy. Wants to conserve the Manaphy. I like that. And then, yeah, a Drizzile in the hand. And a quick... Yeah, the rest of the hand is not great for Jake. So, yeah, it's... Cram Punch from Pablo is probably going to be the play. Opens up with Comfy. What? Opens up with Comfy. We have a Colress in our hand. Oh, are we ever bossing the Manaphy here, actually? Oh, I actually like that from Pablo. Boss KO Manaphy is actually pretty nice here. I was so confused for a second, though. I was like, I don't know about that. This means we won't have the boss for the SQ later on, though, which could come back to bite Pablo, possibly. But I kind of like this. This does open up the Raikou plays pretty aggressively here. Probably wasn't the Colress on top of the deck, just in case of a Marnie. Hard to treat the Comfy. Attack with a Cram. I wouldn't hate to see a Raikou get benched here either from Pablo, to be honest. Just as your attacker on the next turn. Like, if you get Marnied, that way you just have one set up. Otherwise, there's 2 on the bottom of your deck, which can make it hard to find. So, I like this for sure. MKO's Manaphy. And now, what do you do as Jake? You have a Drizzile in your hand and not much else. Yeah, this is not good. Top deck Water to start. You could go get the Greninja now and start using some. Yeah, not being able to get off, like, none of these games. I don't think Jake has gotten off turn 1 Greninja concealed cards. I don't think Jake has gotten off turn 1 concealed cards in any of these games. So that's been kind of unfortunate, to be honest. But it looks like that's probably what Jake is going to line up here, is some concealed cards. There's definitely been a lack of cards being concealed in this match so far for Jake. Pablo's been concealing a lot of cards. There we go. Yeah, it does need to draw decently off the Greninja, though. You do need to find, like, some dealings or some nets or something if you want to attack this turn as Jake, which I guess you don't have to attack, but you probably want to. Well, no, I guess you're guaranteed an attack here. You can go concealed cards plus attach or treat the active. Okay, so you're guaranteed to attack this turn as Jake, but it does involve your Palkia attacking. Okay. Another Drizzile is nice. It does involve your Palkia attacking, which I guess is, like, not the best. You don't really want to attack with Palkia. Well, you don't have a choice though, do you? You're just like, you're always attacking with Palkia in this matchup. I take it back. So attach, retreat, attack with Palkia. Palkia is probably not getting one hit KO'd, but it could get one hit KO'd, and that would be awkward. This is kind of an awkward setup now as well, because like Jake really can't bench the SQ with this wash energy and have it not get KO'd by Raikou. So Pablo on this turn could go, potentially Pablo could one hit KO this Palkia this turn and leave Jake with basically nothing, it feels like, to be honest. There's a quick ball. There's the SQ grab. So finally confirming to Pablo that they do play the SQ. Oh, wait, okay. So Jake is able to pull off the KO double Comfy. Oh, okay, there was two. Okay, I got scared for it there for a second. So Jake actually does get the Greninja play here. So maybe Pablo not benching that Manaphy, coming back to bite him a little bit. We'll see. Might struggle to actually get to 7 in the Losso now. And actually, Pablo is down 3 Comfy now. And realizing that, might actually play an Ordinary Rod here to recover Comfy to give them a shot of actually pulling a attack off with a Gate Pokemon here. Mirage Gate Pokemon. Because getting to 7 without a Comfy this turn is going to be almost impossible. Actually, no, that will be impossible. You need a Comfy here as Pablo. It's 2 Grass and 2 Comfy. Back to the deck, and then we'll see the Colress to go up to 6. And if they can find a Comfy, get into the active, and then get the Raikou in the active, they could go with Raikou here, knock out the Greninja, and actually also knock out a Drizzile. I actually like this play from Jake here a lot, going with the Greninja. Ooh, that's a lot of energy. And a lot of gates. Okay. Looks like Grass and Psychic might be hitting the discard. Ooh, actually, this is kind of awkward from Pablo. Yeah, so I think this is pretty... It's actually... Like, looking at how this played out, I think it was a mistake for Pablo to not get the Manaphy, right? I think Pablo probably should have just got the Manaphy. Punch with Cram. Yeah, probably should have just got the Manaphy, right? Just, like, plays around this Greninja play that could come up sometime soon. And we saw it did come up. It wasn't too far away from coming up. There's a Comfy. You would need a switch card here as Pablo. So you could get the Comfy into the active by going Attach, Retreat, Cram. And then you would need a Net or an Escape Rope to be able to attack with a Raikou this turn. Wait. Okay, almost in it. All right, almost a big mistake there from Pablo. Ditches the Air Balloon. There's 2 Lightning and a Grass in the Lost Zone. Did get an Escape Rope. Okay, so now should play the Escape Rope first to see what Jake sends up. We should see Escape Rope first here from Pablo. Did Pablo use Primate Wisdom yet? No, it looks like no. Here we go. Primate Wisdom, a Gate on top. That's actually interesting. I don't know why Pablo Primate Wisdomed first. Maybe to throw Jake off a little bit by using Primate Wisdom first and making him think that's the end of their turn. But now we see the Raikou send up here from Pablo. And Pablo is going to attack with the Raikou this turn, knock out the Sobble, and knock out a Drizzile, I assume, here. Does play the Recycler. Pretty low on recovery here for Pablo as well, to be honest. And here comes a Mirage Gate. Actually, maybe double Mirage Gate. But didn't bench the other Raikou ahead of time. So that's interesting to me. No, just one Mirage Gate happening. Now, Ray versus Raikou. What do you bench here as Pablo? What do you want to load up? Thinking about the Ray. Yeah, if Palkia becomes the next attacker next turn, I like the Ray build up here for sure. And yeah, it goes with the Ray. That makes sense. So Lightning active, fighting to Rayquaza. Has another Mirage Gate for next turn. So there's a ton of stuff happening for Pablo's side of the field. Gets a Sobble knockout, knocks out a Drizzile. I wonder if Jake should have sent up Palkia, but I guess it's weird if Jake sends up Palkia and then, like, if Pablo just goes Cram Punch Palkia. I don't know if Jake plays Melanie, to be honest, so... You appreciate the 21 3-sub there. LT Surge, yeah, Drizzile and Sobble getting taken care of. Pablo going down to 3 prize cards. This will activate Raihan for Jake. And then we do see the Palkia send up here. And there's a Raihan. I don't think this SQ is ever getting used, though. This SQ seems like it's just not going to happen. I don't think the SQ is happening this series at all. I should probably go for the Shady Dealings and Inteleon. I don't know what you're getting off of the Shady Dealings and Inteleon as Jake here to really give yourself a shot. We'll see. Get this knockout, but then if Pablo just goes KO this Palkia, You still can't get down to lone SQ anytime soon. I end up in Irida. I forget what that. I don't know what that other card is that Jake already grabbed, but Irida. We're gonna get Irida plus something here. What are we going for? Can't see. Lost City plus Raihan. Okay. Yeah, Jake definitely doesn't know if Pablo plays. Yeah, Jake doesn't know if Pablo plays 2 Raikou or not. Second Raikou. If Jake knew about the second Raikou, I don't know if Jake would go for the Lost City here. And goes for another Palkia as well. So completely, we're never seeing the SQ in this series, it looks like here. From Jake. It's just not happening. There's the KO. Goes to the Lost Zone. From Pablo, we're probably just looking for Rayquaza knockout. The follow-up KO is going to be interesting, though. I don't know how Pablo is going to get that last prize card. There's no easy prize cards on Jake's bench right now. I guess the Greninja... Actually, that's not true. The Greninja only has 130 HP, so Sableye plus Goon does KO the Greninja, so we could see... Oh, but I think the Goon might be in the... No, the Goon's in the hand, so we could see Pablo put the Goon on the bench this turn, to be honest. There we go, Mirage Gate. Gonna grab Grass and Lightning, and then has the Psychic in the hand to KO the Palkia. And the question is, where's that last prize card coming from Pablo? Like I said... Probably can KO the Greninja. It probably needs to be like Sableye plus Goon KO Greninja. So we could see Pablo go for the Goon Ping on the Greninja this turn to try and set that up. Because there's not really too much else for Pablo to bench anyways, I don't think. But I'm curious to see what Pablo does here. With that. Has the Ordinary Rod in hand, but there's nothing really to recover. I don't think there's like a Sableye or Psychic Energy in the discard pile right now. Oh, has a Colress still. Okay, so we still got Colress to use this turn. Second Ordinary Rod, bunch of nets. Training Court being put in play would be kind of nice, to be honest. Just preemptively have that in play. So could Lost Zone Cram plus a net here. I don't hate that. Yeah, Cram and net, bite in the dust. And then Jake does need Roxanne next turn to actually, like, probably stop Pablo from winning this next turn. Training Court hasn't used Greninja yet, I don't believe. So could you still use Greninja this turn as well? Like I said, I would like to see the Goon Ping on the Greninja here already, because if you do get Roxanne next turn, which it looks like Jake doesn't have, although actually no, it doesn't really matter though, right? Because if Jake Roxanne's next turn, then Jake can't Raihan or Melanie, which means Jake doesn't attack. But to be honest, maybe that's the play from Jake. Maybe you should Roxanne next turn, but maybe you need, I don't know how much energy Jake has left, because if you Roxanne next turn and then build up your Palkia over 2 turns, maybe that's better, because then Pablo's Rayquaza is potentially trapped in the active for the turn. I don't know. All right, gets the knockout on the Palkia. And now over to Jake. Has the Raihan, so we'll be able to attack this turn, but I think Pablo has the Sableye play just in the hand. I think Pablo just wins next turn. I think Pablo should have... Like, I think it's a pretty reasonable play. The Training Court makes things a little bit weird for Jake, but you did see what Jake grabbed off Shady Dealings last turn. So I think Pablo still should have gone with Goon Ping on Greninja right now. Like on this last turn. Pablo should have gone Goon Ping Greninja to play. Because I think that's Pablo's win condition here for the most part. I guess you could have some kind of other... Yeah, now Pablo just has it in hand. Yeah, so I think the Goon Ping should have already happened from Pablo. Just in case you get Roxanne. Because like this Raihan play from Jake is just so weak. I would almost like assume as Pablo that like they have to have like Roxanne into double attack on the following turn almost seems better, but I mean, it's gonna be hard for Jake to have a good turn anyways. So there's no like good play here from Jake, it feels like, to be honest. Raihan happens, has the V-Star, has the energy, so can get the knock on the Rayquaza, but we saw in Pablo's hand, has the Sableye, has the Raihan. So this game is pretty much over. There's the Greninja. Probably should have done that before the Raihan there from Jake. So a little bit of a missequence, but I'm pretty sure Jake kind of sees the writing here on the wall, as well as Pablo does. Yeah, the SQ, we didn't see the SQ in any of the 3 games here from Jake. Jake did draw a little awkwardly in the games in general, I feel like. Goon Ping, and there's the net, and then 12, knockout. Is there 10 in the Lost Zone? Yeah, there's 10 in the Lost Zone there from Pablo. Okay. So yeah, Pablo wins. Pretty clean. The matchup seems pretty tough for Jake, to be honest. Like, 4 escape rope and the boss's orders. Like, I feel like you're never getting the SQ play to work, and then there's so many opportunities for Pablo to draw 2-to-1 prize trade with like the Raikou, the Sableye, the Rayquaza, being able to for Pablo to be able to draw 2 prize cards or even 3 prize cards in a turn when Jake is only drawing 1. So yeah, pretty good matchup I think for Pablo overall.